Welcome to the Offspace podcast. I'm your host with the motherfucking most, True Offer.
I was about to say you forgot to finish that, my boy.
I forgot to even go in for my name. That's not.
Let's go ahead and restart this one. Let's do it again.
All right.
No, go ahead.
You know what? Sorry, I had to listen to a motivational message first. Please remember that one, by the way.
You already know what freaking time it is.
Yes, sir, Ski. Welcome to the Offspace podcast. I'm your host with the motherfucking most, True Offer.
And it's your favorite co-host, undisputed heavyweight world champion as a go offer.
Yes, sir, Ski.
Talk to me.
And I'm just happy to be here today with my dog. I'm happy for us to continue on this path that we've been ordained and just chosen for, because we've been doing some cool stuff lately. I'm really excited to see what's coming.
Man, I'm happy to be here too. It's just been a nice journey of just like struggle, success, challenge, and just everything in between, and creating this new content that we're trying to bring to the viewers. We're trying to bring to the people, but not just to the people. We're trying to bring to us, because at the end of the day, we're people who are creatives and trying to have fun first and foremost with this. And fun for us is taking this to whatever level we could take it, creating the content we're truly proud of. So I can really say that right now, what we're up to, I'm proud of.
I'm super proud of. Super proud of.
Yeah. So y'all are going to see it. Just stay tuned and keep rocking with the podcast. Keep rocking with everything that we drop in the meantime, because we got a lot more for y'all coming.
Yes, sir, Ski. And we're going to see where we take it, God willing. But with that being said, like, how's your week been, my boy?
My week, bro, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so like this is a podcast, so obviously y'all are getting the PG version.
You're not going to give them all the sauce?
Y'all are getting the censor version. But my week has been a trying one, to say the least, in certain aspects. But it's been fun in others, too. I definitely got some dope experiences in, was able to meet some cool people that I haven't seen before, and just honestly take a look into a different side of just like what goes on in the city, a different side of shit that I've already been getting into with like motorsports and just like vehicles and like different like bikes now, and just like really seeing some of these things firsthand and expanding my horizons of what I've already known. It's just like I'm somebody who's truly forever curious, right? So being able to into that world and see something that, again, I haven't seen before, it's always a situation, just like when I was on I was doing some background work too recently where I got the same feeling. I can't say too much on that, but it was the fact that immediately when I get that dumbass smile on my face of just pure bliss and just like I feel like I'm a kid, I live for those moments. And so being able to get two of those in 1 week, it feels great, man.
Yes, sir, Ski. I love that. I love that positive twist, positive outlook.
Yeah. And we're turning everything that feels the type of way or things like that into energy and fuel moving forward. Because at the same time, it wasn't all like a peachy, there's ups and downs. And so the downs, I'm just trying to channel now. Like, I'm not going to act like they're not there. For sure not about to act like they're not there, but I'm about to change them.
No, you got to be true to yourself. And that's something that, like, I think, and this is a discussion for a whole nother day, because I'm not trying to like call a bunch of people out, but
yeah,
one thing I think a lot of people are lacking right now is definitely accountability.
100%. Say it again.
And I think that accountability helps you do that a lot easier than from like a typical standpoint, because it lets you be real with yourself, right? You can be like, look, I am butthurt right now. I'm pissed off right now. Like, I'm going through this. And you don't just nail those as negative emotions that you should never feel and live in this fake positive world. Like, yes, shitty stuff happens, and it's okay that it happens, because shitty stuff happens to everybody. But with that being said, it's how you can take that shitty stuff and like how it affected you, learn whatever lesson was taught, because life is unfair. Life is a bitch sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes people go through things that you truly don't deserve to go through, but that was still chosen on this timeline of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was still chosen to happen on this go around of the single player game. So it's like, are you going to still find a way to beat it? Or are you going to let this one knock you out? And I'm not going to blame anybody on how they take things, but I think accountability helps you really look at those issues, because you could really tell how you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm fucked up. I want to be petty. I want to be angry. I want to go beat some ass. I want to go kick some ass. You know what I'm saying? I wanted this. I wanted that. But it's like, what you take yourself for in those moments is what kind of defines you as a person. And that helps you elevate.
And that's, bro, you just said it, and it's major, man. Accountability for real. I hope that that's something that, if nothing else, is I know every podcast we try and honestly give something to carry forward as like a theme for positivity to push ourselves to get better, as well as like just the talks that we get into with everything. So I hope that theme can carry forward in what we're doing. And just at the end of the day, I know sometimes it's scary, bro. I know, because I sometimes I'm harder on others and myself just talking with you than I should be, because you brought this up to me. But it's like not everyone's as far along on their journey. So like sometimes when you're on the other side of it, even though we're all like continuously working, so we're all no one's ever fully on the other side of like everything.
Too then much no one's perfect,
But when you're further along, quote unquote,
in certain areas,
sometimes it's nice to take it easy and be patient with people, because like it is scary though. Like sometimes you don't want to confront these things because it's going to make you take a deeper look on yourself, where you might feel shame, you might feel sadness, you might feel grief, you might feel anger, but sometimes that's worth it to get to that other side, because if not, you just carry it with you, and carrying it with you is just as bad as confronting it. I promise you that.
Carrying it with you,
it's worse because it stays.
Carrying it with you feels kind of like those animes or like shows or whatever. I know we make animes like the description for everything, but it's like it feels like when you have that sickness that you have to go like 13 towns over and like go through 8 side quests to get the right little fucking vial that heals you and makes you back to normal, so you can finally unlearn this. Like they make you go through.
But right before you got to that last town, there was that guy who was waiting for you, and this ain't even the final boss. He's waiting after you get it, just when you think you're really through it. What I mean?
It's the unfair. This is the unfair part of the game. Like that's what I talk about.
And you can't save, so you got to go back to the beginning if you fuck up.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, how are you going to let these things affect you? Because so many people fold, and I don't blame anybody. Truly, I'm not here to judge nobody, because I've been on that side myself. I folded in a lot of situations that still to this day I feel like I needed to, so that I can really go through it, like really get fucked up, so that I can learn the lesson God was trying to teach me, because my ass is hard-headed. So it's like sometimes I got to learn lessons the hard way. But I think that with grace, because I don't think that's permanent, because I used to think that's permanent in people, but I think with grace and growing your emotional intelligence and forgiving yourself, you can genuinely point those things out a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I like that, man. Shit. Well, let's go ahead and get into how your week's been going, though, because I know we were on mine for a second, but your boy, what's going on here?
No, my week's been cool, to be honest. It's like school started again, which is crazy. I'm honestly,
tell me about it.
Honestly, like I know I took years off and like semesters off, and it's been a slow process. So I understand there's like a logical way to explain it. But regardless, it's my story, and living through it and realizing how old I am still in school, like that shit beats my ass. But it's like I get over that, and I have a positive outlook of it, of course, because I know what I'm working towards. And I finally figured out, I waited a while, don't get me wrong, but I finally figured out how to make my degree make sense, because I'm somebody that's strong-willed, so I know what I want to do, right? And if you know what you want to do, if you feel like you have the capacity to learn that, you feel like you don't need people, you don't need these things, blah, blah. But that's ego, you know what I'm saying? Until you can make things align and make sense, then you can do what you were supposed to do, I guess, even though no one's supposed to do anything, but then move forward. So I think that's where I am now. I figured out exactly how I can make my degree work for me when it comes to just like building the Offspace and like the businesses and things we want to do, especially with the internships I'm taking now and some of the relationships I'm making. And so I'm excited, man. It's like I feel like I'm in a hard work period of my life, because I'm like slaving every day. I know you feel me. And so it's like I just know what comes on the other side of really putting in time.
But at the same time, and I know you just brought the positive of it, but just being honest, like I don't expect to know your answer here. But do you feel like you're slaving with the outlook that you have right now, which can change like as you're continuously going through the journey, though, because earlier is always a little bit easier when you got that gusto behind you, like, let's go, I'm ready for this. And then all of a sudden you're on your journey for a little bit more longer, like, and it's like, damn, this is kicking my ass, but I'm still holding out. Like, at least right now, how does that feel?
I love that question, to be honest, because you can show real ties, I guess, to your emotion and being a real fucking person through this shit, But it's like, for me, no, like I get sad sometimes, truly, and I know some of them are going to see this, and that's fine. And I need to just learn. I know it's my fault. Like, I need to learn better time management so I can see the people I love. Because there are certain friends that I do think about all the time that I wish I hung out with more and did more things. Don't get me wrong. But the amount of work I'm putting in towards like my goals and aspirations lets me feel like a peace about a lot of the stuff I'm missing out on, or some of the times I may not have balanced the best. Don't get me wrong, because I know with good balance I can make it work, and that's the next step. I feel like I'm comfortable enough now in the hustle that I feel like I can figure out how to re-socialize myself, for sure. But I had to tuck away for a second to get there. But to answer,
that's real, and people don't understand that. Like, truly, when you're on, like, 'cause I'm gonna let you finish, but like,
go hard.
When you're trying to do something that again is not a beaten path, and you're trying to take that as far as it can go because you have a visions that of like how far you think you could take it.
Blue sky
and like,
visions.
Exactly. Like it's not even remotely close to where you are now. You know, that takes a lot, and people don't always understand because it's like, yeah, I know so many people that work hard, bro. And I'm not saying like hard as hell. Take
away from people.
But it's different when like your manager tells you what you got to do, you know. I have no manager. I'm myself. And if I fail, I'm failing myself. Like, and I'm never going to get where I want to if like I don't push myself, you know, like, and I'm saying myself, but like, this is you, you know, we're one and the same on that. Like, it's so much different. It's so much like, I don't even know how to explain.
No, I feel you. It's because like, it's this, because I'm still doing the regular thing because I understand that I'm going to have to combo it. Like if I want to become an exec and a mogul, like I really want to, I'm going to have to learn the executive side.
And you got to find the balance.
And I have to find the balance. And so because of that, I realized that graduation, getting office time, maybe getting into some of these offices, you know what I'm saying? Like the business side of a summit or the business side of something, and then like working my way in may be a good plan. And so with that being said, it's like, I always have to think about performing at a level that I impress in my academic life, in my internships and those kind of things, because I want to leverage those relationships for myself, but also stressing on top of that about performing at a level that doesn't make me feel like I'm disappointing myself when it comes to like my business and like progressing forward in meeting metrics and like whatever when it comes to the podcast or everything else we want to scale it with.
And sometimes to others that might look like you're overshooting it, you know. Sometimes to others that might look like you're doing too much, bro. But it also might look like you're doing too little, because again, there's not like a concrete, this is the X amount of hours you need to put in to achieve this point destination, you know, following this metric, because again, this is unconventional. So it's just trying to find what's right. And I feel like we're doing this at this point. It's starting to feel like we know the amount of hours in some capacity that makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what time feels fulfilled, what time doesn't.
It's that 10,000 hours.
Really making it happen, bro. It was so much different than when we first started. And I feel like a few podcasts have kind of talked on that, but I swear,
bro,
like,
let's go.
When we started doing this shit for the first time, I just remember like sitting in like, again, like that room in like Baker, and honestly just working, but like with no direction. And it just felt like we were having fun, but like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I remember as we were actually recording it, thinking to myself, like, is this how a podcast goes? And like being so aware of like these little things, like what am I doing right now? Bro, I'm trying.
I remember us making those episodes and me thinking to myself, like genuinely thinking to myself, dog, you just walked into a fire. Like every day I'd be racking my brain for a minimum all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I wasn't thinking about other shit, because you're passionate. It's something that you figured out you like. And you're racking your brain all day, like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, what should I change? What are the next steps? Like, boom, 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 boom. But there's no guidance. There's no tutorial to this shit. Like, nothing creative or entrepreneurial. There's, like, a guidebook that works for everyone's mode, because everyone's mode is different, right? Everyone has a different path and journey. And you just kind of have to roll through the punches and just figure it out, right, as you go. And that is draining. That is really draining. But it's like you love the shit, so it's like you can't let life sink too. I like nice things. I want a nice car. I want nice apartments. Like blah blah blah. I want a nice house. Like it's like all those things are gonna happen regardless of whenever this happens. Yeah. So it's like I also have to work hard on the other tip. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's dope though. I feel at peace though. Like you said, going back to the initial answer of your question, it's like, nah, dog, I feel at peace because every step I make towards my dreams, I don't give a fuck about how that week looked. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of not living in it, because I'm very present nowadays. I try to be, but it can't be a wrong move if it's taking you towards where you actually want to go in life. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless of what people want to say or how people want to look at the shit.
I get you, man. And I share that.
Some days are
too.
hard though. Like niggas get emotional. I get way more. I've noticed in the last few years doing this podcast, I've gotten way more emotional than I've gotten in my whole life. Like in my whole life, I was always the like tears came because I was ready to fight someone. You know what I'm saying? Like a beat a nigga's ass person. I wasn't like the sentimental like sad.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Now
Like
so much shit I get sentimental about.
people, you could judge me, bro. Like, cause people are gonna judge you for whatever. At this point, I don't care what people judge me for anymore. Cause I just live my truths, bro. I think it was really just driving, bro. Driving, thinking about all the incredible people in the world who have made incredible things happen out of nothing. I started to tear up.
Bro, what?
Life just be so fucking beautiful
Bro.
and like inspiring.
Bro, I'm not.
And then all of a sudden, I heard the next song start talking about Freddie Gibbs and I can't remember who the other person on it talking about. Would you rather cry in a Maybach or a Toyota? And I was in the Toyota.
Benny.
And Benny.
Bro,
I was like,
I'm
damn.
telling you, like, I've had so many moments randomly where I would just start crying out of nowhere, just be like emotional because of how beautiful and precious this life is. And it's like it feels like it took me so long to realize it. And I'm just so thankful that I realized this shit while I'm young. You know what I'm saying? Like while I'm young and can appreciate this shit, like for real. But not to be sappy bastards, even though I love it.
Not to be sappy bastards.
Let's move on to our heat checks for the week for surely.
For sure. Let's go ahead and get into it. Do you want to go first or me?
I have mine loaded up.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and get into it.
All right. So for my heat check, it's a song that I think I've already used for a heat check, but really I don't care. Like, like I'm not even sure if I've used it, to be honest, but I've used a few songs from this album, and this is just how I've been feeling lately. So
this is why we need an intern, because it's hard to keep up, y'all. But I hope y'all enjoy the music nonetheless.
Oh, but the song is "Free Me" by 42 Dugg.
Shit.
Cause ain't no guns in that bitch.
Nigga. Nigga.
And then you got indicted, ain't no point even fighting. Yeah, I did
Hello.
that, Judge. Bro, hard. Come on now.
Shit.
This might be a minute or I'm sorry.
No way.
Nigga.
Love it. Back on my brother, mama, I love you. Come on now, Doug. Stop tripping. Guess what? I let my bitch kind of have a ticket when I'm stressed out. Niggas know who run the city. Pick your best five. Oh my goodness.
Niggas know who run the city. Pick your best five.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
crazy.
42 Dugg went nuclear on that shit. I'm sorry. I love that song so much. Too much, probably. To be
Niggas
honest.
know who run the city. Pick your best five.
I'll pick my five over anybody's five, to be honest.
That really felt like when I figured out Atlanta really had a street ball scene. And not when I figured out that these niggas are hoopers.
No,
Not
for
just street
real.
ball, they're really hoopers.
Oh, wait, by the way, of course, when I say that, I mean that in nothing street. Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
Good
so crazy.
suburbs.
Like, good suburbs. Like, no, when I say pick your best five, I just mean I think my niggas are cooler than y'all niggas. Always. Like, that's just always, I'm always choosing us. Like, that's craziness. What definitely could take who's ever's. All right. And what's your heat check?
So this is like what we were talking about the other day when it was just like when you try and catch it, it's like, you know, it only goes worse.
It only goes worse every single time.
Yeah.
But
So my heat check is okay, give me just 1 second, y'all, because I just want to make sure I do right by especially one artist on it. But it is Cold Hearted, the PNAU remix. So it's Elton John, Dua Lipa, and I guess PNAU. And I've just been in a vibe for a lot of Elton John a couple months ago when I heard the song randomly. At a moment, I'm not going to lie, I've been listening to like a lot of feel me music. It was like a nice relief to just feel good because, you know, I needed a feel good song. For
yes,
sure.
Sirski. Let's go. Alrighty.
Feels like Rick Astley's about to come on it. I feel like I'm on that rooftop. I feel like I'm on that rooftop.
Oh yeah, bro. Niggas is going crazy on that rooftop. It's out there. Busting out dance moves I know I don't have. No type of bag. No type of bag. Yeah, okay. Okay. Talk to him.
All right, let's stop before we get copyrighted for everything.
For the whole episode, niggas want a whole piece this time.
So they want to take your whole livelihood because you played 2 minutes.
And you know what I would tell them niggas?
They got to get it out of these cold
Yesterday's
what?
price is not today's price.
That's all I'm gonna tell them niggas. He actually laugh tracked me. No way.
Wait, turn up the sound on that that one a little bit. Yeah, for the track. Anyway, but I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna have to start whipping that one out, y'all, because it's priceless to me. You stopped instantly, you know.
Guys, stop.
Calm down,
Seriously,
calm down,
guys,
calm down.
chill. All right.
I'll be here all night. All right.
Let's get into the pod. The people have been waiting, whatever.
But that aside, I don't really have much more to talk on music. I know there was some other things this week that we actually plan on getting into. Make sure that you refer to also the DMs I sent to Space to.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I was gonna say there's a couple music things. There's a couple music things for sure this week that I thought were very alert.
Oh my goodness!
One alert was Kendrick Lamar officially announcing.
I'm bugging.
I was about to say this nigga.
I sent that too.
Yeah, I was about to say that's what you said. Like this nigga was about to skip what he said. That's funny.
When you don't have your phone, it's so hard.
But Kendrick Lamar officially announced his leaving TDE, and this is going to be his last project on TDE. The whole camp was basically in celebration that day when it came to at least Top and Punch's words, talking about no one should be mad or tripping about this. Like people grow, people this, people that.
Yeah, and I mean, like he's also just made such a major contribution, and it was never any malice. Like if you saw what he wrote and like how TDE was a space for like young artists to really come and do their thing as they did. I'm not gonna again say it how he did because I'm paraphrasing because I read it like a week ago, but
100%. And I think it was so beautiful, especially because rumor is, of course, that he's going to be focusing harder on his other venture, PG Lang, which is his own company. I think it's like a production company. I don't know exactly what.
I'm not gonna lie.
Like entertainment, etc.
Yeah.
And I believe people think he's gonna start pushing like Baby Keem a little bit harder because that's his cousin, of course, his young little cousin or like nephew, just younger family member.
I think people are gonna be surprised. But I think he's going to do a lot of stuff outside of music.
A ton of stuff.
I think music's going to be like it's going to be put on the back burner for him and not as like a disinterested. It's just like I think passions as well as just like his outlook of what he can accomplish is still yet to write itself in so many other ways. And we were blessed to get the music side, but you could already see him transitioning into growing as a person, and it's not just like growing artistically in his music. He's growing outside of that, so we have to see.
And to be honest, dog, just to harp on that a little bit, I went to a show of his in 2017, and going to a Kendrick show let me know that music's not going to be the only place that he's great very quickly, because that was one of the best artistic experiences I've ever been involved in at like a festival. Like just like the experience he put on his stage, like he immersed you in like that Kung Fu Kenny, like Kung Fu world, like had like clips in between each song, like different. You had to be there, of course, but it was just like, it was nuts. It was nuts to say
crazy to me. This man was able to see Kendrick Lamar and I never was able to.
And Drake.
I was able to see Schoolboy Q and he was never able to.
I want to see Q so bad.
But it's like we both flip side. I don't want to say would rather have seen the other person more.
Oh yeah, because Q's my favorite member of TDE, for sure.
It's just crazy how that works.
And I know how much you love Dot as well.
Yeah. I still got to see Isaiah Rashad though. That made my day.
I wish I could have saw Zay, but I think that's really dope. All well wishes to Kendrick, and really I'm excited for the Baby Keem and Him song coming this Friday, because after the announcement, Keem announced that they have a song this week. So I think
he was waiting on that.
Oh, he was definitely waiting on that.
I'm not gonna lie, the Kendrick like hype behind like this this being his last TDE project. It's tough, man, because like, look, obviously the quality music is going to speak for itself, but I feel like the hype around that enough bro, this album of the year.
Bro, I'm telling you.
And I just said it with my whole chest.
I'm telling you, it's about to be different because I was looking. I'm
This
not
nigga had
gonna
to
lie.
do it like Isaiah Rashad like that.
I was thinking, bro, what? I was thinking, and this isn't to put no doubt in TDE. Anybody who knows me knows the love I have for TDE. But at the end of the day, I was thinking that Drake was in kind of a clear lane for album of the year this year, right? And then like now hearing the story with this Kendrick album, because I already knew Kendrick was going to put an outstanding album. I'm just here of the belief that Drake's about to put out his best work, personally. And so with that being said, if I'm to believe that, I think he's in a clear lane. This now changes the game for me. This Kendrick announcement, I'm not going to lie to you. Like that makes me now think Dot's coming for it before he leaves.
Bro, it makes me think that we might not see Drake till 2022. I'm just being dead honest with you. Like,
because you know Kanye's not making Drake change anything, but Kendrick might make Drake sharpen that knife.
for sure. Like his relationship, I feel like with the Kanye situation, and I don't know him like that. I don't know them that personally. But just gauging off of what I know to be true for myself, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, those niggas are peers. And like at some point, the competition with your peers is different from like whatever Drake's got going on with Kanye. That one's a personal, like a different, like weirder tip that only they would understand. I don't get as much. But and the Kendrick and Cole, nah, that's the one that I feel like you can make more assumptions out of how they would move, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I'm just excited, man. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Now I'm sitting here thinking like there's a whole new arena that's been opened up. We know the boy loves to sharpen his pen whenever he gets a chance. So I know he's probably in there. 40 probably hasn't slept in a month.
Oh my God.
40 probably hasn't slept in a month
goodness.
now trying to edit shit and change shit. But you know what else was kind of crazy that I saw? It's not really music related, but it is entertainment related. And it's not the OnlyFans thing that's next. Bro, did you see that Al Capone's granddaughters,
I saw it,
who've
bro.
lived quietly in the Bay Area and Auburn area for decades, are preparing to auction off much of their grandfather's personal possessions? That's kind of nuts.
Can I be honest with you? I hope that these are dope people and they don't take any offense to what I'm about to say. But that just sounds like the money's going away. And it sounds like, fuck it, it's long enough. Like, granddad, like, you're out of here or whatever. And, like, let's just go ahead, get what we can and get rid of some of these things that we don't need to be holding on to anymore. But also, like, because I'm not going to say it lie. They did say a lot of things go away after a few generations. And, like, it's Al Capone. That's a big name, my guy.
It could be, to be honest, it could be. But even on that, it's like my first thought goes directly to, and I know this is going to sound, niggas are going to be like, wow, Chuka's head is blah, 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 blah. But I know you feel me, so I don't care what niggas
If you say something positive
But
and I sound like a dickhead, I'm about to feel
no,
so
it's fine.
bad.
No. It is kind of positive,
Oh
but
my
it's
God.
it's not horrible. It's
Oh
like,
my God.
It's like, bro, I think about myself. I'm
Yeah.
like, obviously, I don't have the level of infamy, fame, whatever people want to put on Al Capone, however you look at the story, right? But what I want myself to be in a perfect world, you know what I'm saying, is one of them niggas, you know what I'm saying, the history books. And if I wanted myself to be one of them, thinking about like a few generations down, my kids really might just sell my stuff. I mean, obviously I did what I came to do, and I touched the world and blah, blah, blah. So my story is written, so you shouldn't care.
You got to keep something,
But
though.
just thinking about, bro, y'all have to cherish Papa a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep something. I hope they keep the fire shit.
The main pistol or
You know what I'm
something?
saying? Like,
You got to keep that.
If they sold everything else, I get it. You might be decluttering. You feel me? Like, this nigga might have mansions full of shit.
Because he did live a whole life.
what
That
I'm
was a
saying?
whole human being. You don't need to keep everything he ever owned.
For sure. But y'all got to keep the fire pistol. Like the one with the coolest pistol whip story. Like, y'all got to keep, like, the dope shit. Like, the dope shit.
You got to keep the clothes that they got him going into jail with.
Like, I'm saying, like, real
Little things like
memorabilia,
that, like-
you got to hold on to. But other than Al Capone, bro,
There was a lot of, like, interesting things this week. I don't know if we're immediately trying to get into the OnlyFans situation and stuff, but, like, dude, I'm not going to lie, because we were talking about it in class randomly enough today, and it made me click a lot of things, right? So the CEO of OnlyFans was also the former CEO, I'm pretty sure, of Lehman Brothers, back when they were going through, like, they were under, like, a lot of heat for doing, like, a lot of unethical shit, when I think it was the housing crisis time and whatnot. Am I wrong or right
you
on
might
that?
be correct. I'm not fact checking. I'm just listening to you.
But so essentially, that CEO went through so much bullshit not bullshit, so much shit for like not being the best person. And then now is like, again, like they're calling for whatever, like obviously for no more pornographic material to be on OnlyFans. And so, you know, a lot of people are like, you fumbled the bag, or like, how can you realize it's not like that's a bad business decision and stuff. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, no offense, they already got this dude on like corrupt shit once. What if, and this is conspiracies, obviously, y'all. I don't know this nigga. I don't know the depth of all this. And obviously, I haven't even given so many real facts on what he got messed up for before. You know, this is just me talking on my ass a little bit.
Bro. This is a podcast.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a young black man.
Let me get my shit off. So, what if this nigga really got paid? And they said, because you know, sex workers don't have it the best, bro. And like they
get violated a lot worse than a lot of entertainers.
And the OnlyFans shit was fucking up a lot of money for a lot of people.
Big companies.
So imagine they just said, look, we already know you're fucked, bro. We'll throw you a little bit of cash, and you put an end to this. And then he's like, oh, fuck it. You know?
I'm not going to lie to you.
Let's do it.
I know this is conspiracy theory bag, so we will say, like, this is conspiracy hour. Because obviously we don't know them niggas. We don't know their things. That is the only path that makes sense to me. And I say that because no one that's taken Business 101, you know what I'm saying, at the easiest class, like, no one that's taken the easiest business course ever in life, even you could have learned business off of Twitter and gotten this one right, bro. like the one thing that made your company into one of the largest online distributors of pornography in the world, and one of the largest hubs that these people, that content creators were flying to get paid, create livelihoods, like a real job. It was a real job, as much as people don't want to act like it was. You are the number one platform. So you are rolling in it just from like what your returns should be, what your stock should be, etc. The only thing that makes sense would be an inside job kind of setup little thing, because of the fact that worst case, if y'all wanted to clean up your image, you would just make a whole nother site, because this one's so big, the fire got so large, you would just have to just create something else. Exactly. Because you know how much money is in that. Like, but these creators, they're hustlers at the end of the day. They're going to figure it out. It's just like...
Dude, there's like other sites, but you know how it is. Like, you mess up one thing and people don't immediately figure it out. They have to restructure all this. It's a wild, wild west. A lot of people end up going back to these other businesses, other things like, fuck it, let me make some money, even if they're... Bro, when they said how much Mia Khalifa made in her lifetime earnings doing porn, and y'all know who Mia Khalifa is.
Be real with yourself. It's okay.
You know who this young woman is.
It's okay, y'all. Your wife still loves you. I promise.
For her to have made so little money, and she was the it girl in porn for a bit, that's kind of crazy, man.
Bro, it's nuts. And like, even seeing, like, I know, like, I don't even want to say her name because I think it's disgusting, the niggas that flock to it, but you know which one I'm talking about. Like, bro, she made $2 million in that first 24 hours, or a little bit more than that. That's probably more than she made on returns off of music, just truly for herself.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, when you said that, I really didn't like know who you said meant off the top of your head.
Oh no, I just meant the Catch Me Outside girl. Like,
oh my, bro, it's funny. 2 seconds,
millions of dollars.
2 seconds before you answered it, I registered who you were talking about.
Oh, that's funny.
And then that's also kind of,
that's weird,
bro.
She just turned 18 and made one, and once again, I'm never gonna judge her ever. By the way,
people were waiting.
That is an 18-year-old that made her own decision. I'm truly never gonna judge her. Truly, honestly, she. Like, please continue to finesse. That's a lot of life-changing money. Do what you got to do. But with that being said, it's like, I'm always going to judge the grown-ups that wait for 17-year-olds to turn 18. Sorry. Like, I know that's a big fetish to certain people, but I'm always going to judge it personally myself.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a lot, man. Mm-hmm. You just got to be real with yourself at some point. Like, you're old. These are kids.
For sure.
So that being said, though, I know there was other more.
But I definitely want to say, like, well wishes to those creators, because obviously everything we do in a positive light is trying to have people not. I get it. There's a joke with OnlyFans there, so let me.
No, that was perfect still.
Haha, get fucked. Haha, get it. All right, get fucked in contracts and shit like that. But what we're
trying, boy, ain't no way. Ain't no fucking
we're really always trying to promote the positivity in forms of people owning their own shit and being their own businesses. And at the end of the day, that's what those women were doing. So hopefully they figure out another way,
because they set their own
other platforms and be able to set their own things. Because think about it, if you were one of those sites, like one of those major porn players, you're paying somebody, let's even say you pay something crazy like $50K a scene for these huge artists, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if those creators have their own OnlyFans and they're killing that price, and they don't have to give you a cut, and they get royalties forever because it's their content, so they can continue to sell it and get everything. Why would they ever do major scenes? So many major porn stars were stopping doing major
because it just didn't make sense for them. And like, obviously, you think to yourself, am I gonna pay for everybody's OnlyFans? No.
Of course not.
Look, like I'm
heathens.
I can't do that. But at the same time, I can support the individuals that are trying to protect their bread, and then I, just live my own life.
It's just like, regardless of views on OnlyFans or actual usage, I know what you're saying. Like, in terms of just like, you still support these people.
Yeah, like I know there was a lot of people that were complaining who don't even watch porn like that, probably, who are complaining. Okay, but now you don't have access to people's things, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, go touch some earth, bro.
Oh, no, he hit him with the touch earth.
touch some earth,
All right,
bro.
let's get into it, bro. Fuck it. Like, let's get into it before we even get into anything sports related. Dog.
What's up?
The Spider-Man trailer. It's time.
Yo, this man's been waiting to talk to me about this one for a minute.
We are back on Marvel o'clock, baby.
Let's go ahead and
You
talk
know how long it's been? Wait.
You have to give it wait. Okay, before we even get into it, because you seem like you're about to give like a...
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys don't understand, okay? Some of our favorite moments in doing the podcast. Notice how I just answered for my brother, even though I don't even know if that's his answer, so I'm sorry.
He really just spoke for both.
But I'll say some of my favorite moments in doing this podcast is like when we watched Game of Thrones, when it would be, and we'd be talking about the episodes every week, or like when we would watch like fire ass like Marvel movies, or just like big movies that everybody was watching, and we'd be talking about them, and they'd be killing. Like, people love that stuff too. Like, bro, what? ready. And so Marvel is something I know we're always going to watch because we're both nerds on that stuff. So that's always dope whenever we get an experience there. But two, they've been killing it on the Spider-Man side until I got my first major grievance.
Bro, that's kind of crazy that like...
But I'm still excited for the movie. Very excited for the movie.
I have one grievance with it. But before we even get into that, if some of y'all didn't... Ooh, I'm so sorry for that, y'all. But if some of y'all did not know, there was recently a leak from Sony showing the sneak peek of the trailer of Spider-Man that they recently released prior to the actual release, which I think ended up leading to Sony just saying, fuck it, we're letting it fly, because it was already out. And, they wanted to get the plays, the views, and kind of get a hold of the... a hold of the marketing. So,
bro, that video quality was so bad. I wasn't gonna screw up their marketing, bro.
That was the worst quality I've ever seen.
I didn't even watch it.
Talk about what the leak was. The leak was literally me, because I'm not saying I watched it, because I don't support pirated content like that. It was just such for saying you watched that.
No, like, what are they gonna do? Find the moment you did? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, nigga. But it's like that quality was so bad, I couldn't watch it.
Recording somebody else's phone of an uncompleted version of the video. It was one of the most poor experiences I've ever had in my life, and I actually stuck it all out because I was that excited for the film.
Bro, I got disgusted. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just gonna get straight to it. I'm not even gonna.
Tom Holland best Spider-Man.
Bro, Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, and I'm happy for that. Truly, I want to give him his crown, and that's cool. But bro, the way they set up, bro, we watched Tony Stark, right? Mm-hmm. Intellectual genius, asshole, dickhead, sarcastic douche, but he's a genius, right? We watched Doctor Strange, genius, right? Argue with one another about specifics of plans to make things go forward, and like keeping a tight secret, and this, that, right? We watched that, right?
Yeah.
So teenage Tony Parker was able to walk up to Doctor Strange and say, yo, me and my bitch are miserable. And he was able to, that doesn't make sense. That simply doesn't make sense. And even someone warning and saying, don't do that spell. The actual Doctor Strange is going to be like, I knew I wasn't going to do it anyway. That's what I was expecting, like a funny thing. Then blah, blah. Yeah. He never is actually doing that for Tony.
I think maybe like in the Doctor Strange they've set up in like the Marvel Universe movies right now. But I think if I remember correctly from other things I've seen,
Marvel Universe is what I'm speaking on, by the way.
He had a more playful nature and was like a little bit more of like, fuck it kind of person.
You think they're trying to take that turn to be a little bit more appealing with obvious losses in the MCU and try to bring love to characters? They had him a little stingy, but the movies were good.
The movie was great, and it's like they had a white woman as a Buddhist monk, and that movie was phenomenal.
Craziness. Niggas didn't even talk about it. Was so good.
No, they talked about it.
They did talk about
They
it.
were
I'm so
on her
sorry.
ass.
I was not looking.
I'm niggas. That wouldn't make sense. But nah, I think they're definitely doing that. I think that gripe makes sense though. You know, I have two that kind of.
So that's the only one that kind of made me upset because of how they set him up. But I understand, like you said, making that shift because at the end of the day, you lost two of the most likable MCU characters.
Yeah.
One tragically, of course, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman in the same year. You know, so I mean, I understand it, but
That's a tough
it still
loss,
didn't make
man.
sense. It still didn't make sense to me,
How long can they act like these people are kids?
bro.
How long can they act like these are children? I'm getting sick and tired of it.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing straight up.
I'm not even believing the accent anymore.
This has nothing to do.
That's a grown man.
I was
That's a grown woman.
gonna try to make this tie into what you said, but it doesn't even have to do with what you said. Tom is gonna say yes to whatever they tell him to do as long as he gets to keep being with Zendaya. Are you serious, bro? If you're Tom, they're gonna say you're a cat now. He'll be like, meow. Yo, it's like Spider Cat. Just start shooting shit, bro. Like, I'm Tom Holland and Zendaya is my set partner all the time, and she lets me be. I'm happy. And she's one of the most talented people in Hollywood. So you get to also be only boosted because it's other talent boosts talent.
Bro, it's
like
not
knives sharpening knives. And she's beautiful, and she's my girlfriend. I want this job forever.
But forget Tom, man. It's not just him. Zendaya, how long are you? The jig's up. The jig's up.
The Marvel check,
She'll figure it out though.
That Marvel check, dumb.
Bro, first off, I get it.
Has to be.
You know, as youthful people like ourselves in our young 20s who can look like they're younger people, you know, I also give off that energy. I can look like a younger person because I just have that much vitality.
You know
to
how
me.
often
So,
lately, bro, you know how often lately
What?
people have ID'd me for 18? Like, seriously, though? I don't believe them.
Big ass
I don't
nigga.
believe them. But I'm saying it makes me mad almost. So I get you, bro. I'm not trying to act like the young person forever.
No, I
like,
get
now
you.
even being called it, bro, I'm sitting there like, yo.
No, I'm living in. I'm not gonna
old.
lie. I'm living in it. I'm living in it because at some point you're going to be old. Like, they could tell.
You have to know.
So as long as I look young, I'm gonna keep holding on to it. Another thing was, I saw the Doc Ock shit. I think they're bringing the Sinister Six, but if they really don't, and it's just like for a brief moment, they have Doc Ock and all that, bro. You got to give Spider-Man a real villain, and they got to like give him like an actual person that's a challenge instead of like Spider-Man versus the world. Because the whole Sinestro shit from last time, or Mysterio, I mean, it didn't really feel like. It didn't really feel like that was a real villain for him. Nor did the first time with the Vulture shit. Like, I just want this Spider-Man versus a real villain.
No, I could dig that. I could dig that for sure. And I think the reintroduction, I hope they take that route. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And they win, of course, but the villain's not gone. Like, I want it to almost be reoccurring in the Goblin, you know, Big Mac, Green Goblin, and even Doc Ock. And
It was on site with those niggas back in the day, man.
On site, ready. Like, I want it to be the reintroduction. Like,
Has it been long enough for
a
Green Goblin?
Yes.
I think it has been.
Yes.
Kids these days don't know about the Green Goblin like that.
At
I think
all.
it's time.
They don't care. They don't care. They just know about this nigga going pew pew. But I mean, other than that, I'm excited for the movie. Like, genuinely, it has been one of the best series in the MCU, the Spider-Man series with Tom Holland.
Yep. I guess time will continue to tell. But for now, we're blessed with another Marvel movie that we're gonna probably do a review on or talk about when we end up seeing it for
Yes, sir.
Shang-Chi.
Absolutely. Shang-Chi. I'm excited for that. The fighting looks really cool. I love the rings CGI they do. Even though every time I see Marvel trailers now, I think about who's the director that just did the Suicide Squad.
James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah. I think about how James Gunn was like, it was kind of a relief not to be in the CGI field, just because how everything is CGI in Marvel. It looks good, but it's like he said it was kind of a relief to be in.
To like be able to do something besides looking at blue screens all
looking
day.
at that all day, yeah. And so, but watching the trailer, seeing how cool I thought the ring fighting was, I was thinking, bro, the niggas it's just green. That's all they see around them.
It's crazy because it's literally just like these solid colors of just like all day. And hearing people that have worked on them that I'm like being able to be around, it's just like it doesn't sound as much fun as like watching these movies.
No, you want to be on some Mission Impossible shit. You want to be in different scenery, like
it is real.
Tom Cruise, and do your own stunts.
Apparently, I saw a video. It was like Mission Impossible recently being filmed where they, I guess, saw like half of a train go off a cliff or something. And one of my friends go retweeted and said, Can't wait to see the behind the scenes footage and fucking Tom Cruise is strapped to the front of it.
Tom Cruise is an adventure junkie. That man wants action.
They let him actually drive an F1 car. I just want that one to sink in.
That man's ready for whatever. And then one of the best things that happened this week for me was the NCAA finally clearing J.R. Smith, good brother, to play golf for North Carolina A&T.
You think he goes ahead, and I don't know shit about college golf, but I'm happy for him, but do you think he goes on to win it all?
In all honesty, I think the flyest thing ever would be if he goes off and does decently enough, but he's J.R. Smith, so it gets big buzz, right?
Yeah.
To where he actually like starts performing at a level that he can become a pro, and then if he just becomes a pro golfer for the rest of his life, that'd be hard.
I'm not gonna lie.
Tough. That'd be so tough.
That man genuinely, no one can tell him shit if he accomplishes that.
If he becomes a pro golfer, bro, J.R. Smith is one of my idols. Like, that's so tough. Like, that's actually so tough. I do nothing but love and support that man when it comes to this endeavor. Every time I see shit about that, I get so excited.
Man, I love seeing people continue to strive for excellence, even outside of like their original sport or things that they do, and just like continue to push for what's next. Because yeah, he's not at the age where he's gonna be in an NBA championship and finals and just be like, look, it's game 7, I'm dropping 60 points. Like, that's just not who he is anymore. But I'm happy that he's found something that he's really passionate about at the moment and just going for it.
And can be competitive still and be that dog.
Because there's always something you could be competitive in.
There's always something.
It doesn't have to be football. It doesn't have to be basketball. It doesn't have to be soccer. It doesn't have to be a young man sport, quote unquote.
I'm getting ahead of these niggas, bro. Like, I've had the itch lately to get back on the green and play some golf. I'm trying to get ahead of these niggas right now, so that by the time we're in our 40s, I'm really shitting on these other execs.
It's cut for them.
Shitting on these execs. And I'm going to act humble, too, until we get out there. And then it's Tiger Hoods.
I'm going to need a Tiger Hoods. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to need you to definitely get out there and see what you're about. Because we haven't played golf together.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
I got to see what that is. I told you about the time.
I'm going to the range soon. But I will obviously talk about that off pod. But you can come through. Like, I'm down.
You remember Ray, but like Raymundo?
Yeah.
I told you about the time that he tried to, man, I don't even know if I can say all this stuff on the phone, but talk about the golf shit with him and whatnot. And see how people really treat golf and stuff. It's awesome, man.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. And awesome. So it's like, I want to be competitive with something for the rest of my life. And I think I'm easily going to do that, because I'm going to hoop until my body can't hoop anymore. But God willing, I'm going to always be able to hoop to some capacity. Like, I gotta be 90 and still be able to have a wet jumper. Because by then, I said still, because by then I hopefully made a wet jumper, because I don't have one. I said still and I don't own it yet.
People got to stop putting disrespect on my name. I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't hoop frequently enough anymore because of like different things that aren't there anymore. So I'm probably gonna be hooping a lot more consistently now, because like my knees are feeling a lot better.
Hey, yes, sir.
But it's just like not being there consistently and not just being somebody who has had a heater their whole life. The shot looks debatable when I'm out there for a little bit. But as you warm up, people don't understand how much warm-ups really do for somebody who's understood how to get their shot where they need it to be. It's different.
He says, is it a wetter?
Oh my God.
I said, is it a wetter? Wow. Is it a heater?
Compared to Lifetime Fitness niggas, for sure. Like NBA people, maybe not, but
bro, I'm bro. These young kids got me inspired, bro. I be out there doing, like, I did one move with you and Mason out there, like that spin around, like fade. I pulled off on Mason, bro. I didn't even believe I was gonna make that shot. I'm not.
Did you talk after? I can't remember.
I did talk after. I had to, bro. I was like, you gotta guard me. You gotta guard me to Mason, bro. But it's like these kids got me trying shit I never thought I was gonna try before. I never thought I'd hit the fake behind turn around spin fader. Like, I was like, what?
You gotta dip into that bag with confidence, because there's no way you attempt to move like that without confidence.
In that moment, I felt like I was. Game 7, it was 3 seconds left and I had to hit the shot or else the whole arena was about to boo me, for sure. So no, in that moment, for surely. But thinking back, it's like, bro, I made it up on the spot. Like, I just said, YouTube video, I've seen this before. Mason's got me trapped. Let me try some cool shit. And it looked wet. It looked like I've done this before.
I love sports, man.
For sure. You got to be competitive forever.
But I know there was, I think, some other news. I just want you to double check that account as we're going through. I'm going to take this moment to really say again, though, y'all, if you have not already, make sure that you're keeping up with us on socials, because a lot of what we aim to do and aim to accomplish, doing what we do with the podcast, with the upcoming projects that we have coming, is, form a community. And we want to be able to interact as much as possible. So I know we've been able to do that to some extent. and we're going to continue to with everybody that's part of this community that we've developed. But at the same time, we love for new people to actively make themselves aware. So go ahead and follow us on the Offspace on Instagram, on Twitter. All the links should be in the bio of this, regardless of where you're watching it.
Did we already talk about Tebow?
Bro, they've been...
Because Tebow already got cut. And people have been acting like Tebow hasn't at least lived a dream, though. Like, at the end of the day, he wanted to be in the NFL. Yeah. He did it twice. He didn't last that long each time, but he still accomplished the dream of being in the NFL. He's been a sports analyst. Yeah. He played pro baseball. I don't think he made it actual to a squad, but he was at least on the practice squad for pro baseball. Like, he's somebody that's at least accomplished a lot of dreams. Maybe not looking exactly.
He was on the lower league.
In the lower league, in the minors, but it's like...
I wouldn't say minor. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
He got to do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, Tim Tebow's not somebody who was like a car salesman who had to just suck up like going to a 9-to-5 all day. Like, this man's had a great life for sure. It's just kind of funny because you think that they keep getting his hopes up, but I'm not gonna lie. Like this time it wasn't necessarily the case because the coach, like Urban Meyer, right, was again like in an opportunity. I feel like this was somebody who actually was trying to give him a shot.
For sure, give him a chance to show he could do it, because somebody that loved him. You know what I'm saying? Like, from them Florida days.
So I mean, it didn't work out, but there's a lot of good things to look out for football this year. Again,
Jameis Winston.
It's hard for me to talk about the NFL, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm excited just because I want to see. I want to see how. I know the NFL is kind of. Of people and organization, but I want to always support at least the Saints while they do things that make me happy, and that is letting Jameis start makes me happy. I know Taysom's supposed to start like the next game or whatever, and I think they're trying to give him a free.
They're going to give him touch. Yeah, they were splitting up like who actually would be able to like get some play time last game, but like I'm not gonna lie, Jameis looked nice, and it's preseason.
It is preseason. But
it was against a team that people were talking a lot of positive things and hopeful things about. So like I'm excited to see how this goes, and I always believed in Jameis.
I believed in the vision once Cullen broke it down. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took that though. It definitely took that.
For sure.
It definitely took, but Cullen was good at breaking that down. Definitely want to give my boy that credit on that. Shouts out to RX Cullen.
Yes, sir. That sounds so weird when you say our ex Cullen really fast. It sounded like that.
No, RX.
I was like, huh?
R as in Richard.
X as in Xavier.
But the other funny thing that happened in sports a little bit, only because obviously we're never going to prey on the downfall of a man, but especially because he went to a team of dogs, but the Memphis Grizzlies are trading Patrick Beverley to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Jarrett Culver and Juancho Hernan-Gomez. But it's crazy because Beverly got traded from the Clippers to the Grizzlies, which seemed like a hopeful team because that was at least a playoff team. And then he got traded to the Timberwolves, where it seems like they sent him to Rikers Island, bro.
This thing got sent to Serbia.
Bro,
they really sent him to Rikers. Like, I don't know what he did to piss people off, but truly.
Niggas hate him, bro.
The Timberwolves. That fast.
Bro,
it was like he got relegated.
It's like, after Russ made those comments, he couldn't play bad ever again. And just the fact that he had some rough games after those comments, they put a magnifying glass, because when someone says, oh, he fooled y'all, bro, that sounds so disrespectful. That sounds so disrespectful. Someone said he fooled y'all.
He really did, but at the same time, he's picked up his game a lot, like skill-wise, too.
Bro, he was doing skill for stuff.
Makes me kind of surprised that this is what happened. Like, I didn't think he'd end up on the Timberwolves.
Got him out of there to the place.
There wasn't another team,
bro. They have a like huge talent in Cat that no one cares about because they're the Timberwolves, bro. The Timberwolves are just Rikers Island right now.
And they lost Jarrett Culver, who I thought was going to be a good piece for them coming up. So I'm not going to lie. At this point, I just have no clue what's going on with that organization. We should honestly run a poll. This is no disrespect to the NBA and the organization, because obviously, there's a lot of team love out here, and like we'd love to work with some of the teams, but you got to call a spade a spade. Mm-hmm. You got to. We got to start a poll for the worst ran organization in the NBA.
I'm voting Pelicans every time, by the way.
It's definitely Pelicans.
I'm voting Pelicans every time.
The Magic have been unlucky.
They constantly go to the playoffs, Magic, though. So I feel like, even though it's in the East,
they're constantly teetering on playoffs. I wouldn't say go every time, but like they're teetering. And like they definitely been through some tough shit, and I'm happy that they put a lot of faith in Markel.
Kings got to be above the Magic. Kings got to be above the Magic.
The Kings are. Damn, bro, not the Kings.
They gotta be above the Magic, bro.
Because I'm gonna be honest, both of those teams aren't even on the bottom. It's genuinely the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, the Knicks, We're not about to act
After
like
last
just because
year,
the Knicks
bro,
made one
was that
playoffs and it forgave everything before. The Knicks are one of the most horribly ran organizations
They're still on the hit list.
I've ever seen in my life. That shit is horrible.
That's funny as fuck. No, but I'm excited for this NBA season. It's crazy to hear about the fact that Ben Simmons still hasn't been traded yet. That's going to be so awkward, that season being a couple months away.
Ooh.
That's going to be so awkward.
And he's not talking to
He's still on
anybody.
the Sixers starting lineup. Like,
You know he's gone. He's not going to be there when they start.
oh, for sure.
They're just
he's
working
not
out a
going to
deal
play.
now.
They're definitely working out something. It's probably like, it's going to be like the AD thing if he's still there, where they just don't play him because obviously he doesn't want to be there.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Nah, that'd only make the team worse because like the spacing would just be horrible at that point. But I wouldn't mind a Ben Simmons on the Pelicans. They just need a point guard who's
no matter what Ben Simmons has no matter what Ben Simmons has gone through in this NBA, I will never wish the malice upon that man that is coming to such a shittily run organization like the New Orleans Pelicans. I will never wish for a good player on that team again, because of how shitty they have dealt with God giving them a hand in these last 3 years.
For sure. I'm just saying because it's like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to be who everybody thinks that he is going to be. I'm going to stop here before
I was about to say, quit lying to our people, bro. Don't lie to our people.
I think they're straight, but it's just like I'm excited to see how the real moves actually end up playing. I think Ben Simmons is going to end up going to Golden State, and if he does, it's going to be perfect for Golden State in their situation. Again, a secondary ball handler and playmaker for Steph. Draymond doesn't have to, again, put in as much work on defense or really take up the burden of handling when Steph's trying to play off ball. Him and Clay can just, again, put in the marathon that is them running around the court. The spacing is going to be immaculate. They're going to be a dominant force inside with Wiseman. I think there's no way they don't win a championship, especially with their young legs that they have. I know that Steph is injury prone a little bit, but like you can take off some of the burden with him and let him just make it to the playoffs at his age now.
If they get a band, they're championship contenders for sure.
Who was that young nigga that I can't remember that's on Golden State that he wanted the moment? He couldn't do it, but he wanted the moment.
Oh, I forgot his name, but I'm happy they still have him.
It's not Mulder. It was not Pascal, but it was oh well, it's gonna come back to us eventually, probably off the pod. But yeah, man.
But I mean, other than that, I don't really have much else for this week.
Man, that was pretty much all I had. I know there was something else.
I just checked and I couldn't find anything.
It's all right. I probably had it in my own, like in the tuck on my own notes. But if that being said, I know no matter what it is, we're gonna bring some more content next week. I know we've been watching some shows, some different things in tandem, so we never know what we're gonna be talking about on the Offspace. But you already know what it is.
I was ready for the Revengers, but I'm letting my boy catch all the way up. Don't worry, we got you, anime crowd.
Yes, sir.
But my name is Chuka.
My name is Ezio.
Yes, sirski.
This is
the Offspace. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.